ladies and gentlemen of the internet. I am your host, Escalante TV. Now in this video, I'm going to talk about two games that came out about 20 years ago. They were released under LucasArts at the time and Pandemic Studios before they went defunct. And they released two games, Star Wars Battlefront and Star Wars Battlefront 2. What I heard to be were great games, almost legendary in status, the classics. This was way before EA Battlefront and then EA's second Battlefront game. A lot of people enjoyed those games. I didn't personally play those games back in the day. I was maybe around 5 or 6 years old. Didn't really have access to them, but I can understand a lot of the nostalgia that hyped up the current ports of the game that were made by Aspyr. So Aspyr announced sometime last month that they would release two enhanced ports of this original Star Wars Battlefronts made by Pandemic. So Aspyr would go ahead and advertise that this game would have the multiplayers restored. You could play it at 4K 60 FPS, upscaled graphics, the works. You could have access to all the DLC, the single player, everything. And there would be no cross-core multiplayer, but you could still play kind of on your respective platform. PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, Series X, Switch, and Steam. Now, for quite some time, you could play these games on your Xbox Series X. You could play the backwards compatible versions of the original Xbox ports. You just wouldn't be playing the multiplayer because now the multiplayers are now shut down on the console platforms. You could also play it on your PlayStation 2 if you could, you had a PS2 lying around, dust it off, play the games there. Or you could play it on Steam, which had some sort of multiplayer functionality still on it. But now these versions would be hyped up because now it was just accessible for everyone. You could relive your childhood memories. The nostalgia kind of just drove up people to buy these games. Even me, myself, being curious, given that I have played a little bit of the classic games. So I purchased these games, and when I booted up my experience, it was just as much, it was just full of like problems that I could see everyone's like reviews on the game too. And it just felt like a game held together by popsicle sticks and Elmer's glue. Because the game is just riddled with problems on the multiplayer side. Glitches, weird audio cues, like some of the game audio is just like pitched down. It's not like the original. Some of the fonts on the game are just weird. The UI, just everything is kind of wrong about this launch. And I bought this game just for like the multiplayer component since I already had the originals on Xbox. But I wanted to try out, with the 4K 60 FPS and the multiplayer functionality to see how this game would run. And I'd say for those who own the game on Xbox or Steam, I'd say you can hold your money on those. Hold your wallets on those. And here's why, because there's just a lot of problems that this game shouldn't have. These games were already complete 20 years ago, by the way. This isn't a game that has like the typical day one bugs or day one patches that it needs. No, this game is just borderline unplayable. I played matches on multiplayer, and I only lasted in the games about 3 or 5 minutes before the matches would end. I would matchmake again, and I couldn't respawn in some games. I could not use the sniper rifle. I've looked at clips where people were experiencing a lot of bugs, a lot of game-breaking bugs, to where it's unplayable. You cannot play the multiplayers. I think the single players are still somewhat functional, but they're not like the originals. But still, it's a 50 gigabyte download, 50-ish gigabytes, and you're getting this type of experience. So just to like use up hard drive space on this broken experience, it's just not it. So I decided I refunded my copy. My digital copy. I'm getting my money back, and I'm probably not going to touch it, probably at all. I don't know. I'd say if you're really interested in just the single player component, like let's say you're a Switch or a PlayStation player who hasn't had access to the ports, you can go ahead and just wait for a sale. because it's just not the experience that we should be having right now. Just the broken ports, the broken multiplayer, the uncompressed files that make this game bloated on your hard drive, because I know hard drive space is like a big deal now. And for these 20-year-old games to have this bloated hard drive space without uncompressed graphics, yeah, hold off. If you're an Xbox player, you're better off saving your money playing the original Xbox ports, because I think those ones are dirt cheap now. You're on Steam. You can have mod support. You can have the multiplayer still, play the game as it is. But, you know, with the hopes of having the modern, sort of the modern amenities, sort of the modern graphics or comforts that we have, like FOV slider, control mapping, improved multiplayer, better visuals. It was on that. It sounded good on paper, but the way they executed it, it's just bad. It's just terrible. And I imagine they're gonna be trying to fix it. I know that everyone's on that hopium now. Usually after a broken game, people are all like, you know, you should just wait about a few months, 6 months down the line until they fix the game, which a lot of people are just now comfortable with. I'd say you shouldn't really take it, and you have every right to complain, because as gamers, as consumers, we're kind of tired of hearing that, of just like paying for a game up front and then having that fixed down the line. Like how does that work? Like, these games, especially, like, these games were made complete on launch 20 years ago. These were not, when these did not release as broken as they are right now 20 years ago. Keep in mind. So yeah, I don't want to hear that. I just don't want to touch these ports. It's like the GTA Definitive Edition again, where the ports are just broken. It has promises on paper that, and it sells you nostalgia, but once you actually experience it, you see the reviews, you start to wonder, like, you know, what's really being sold to us as consumers. And yeah, I'm just not gonna touch these ports. I'm gonna stick to the originals for now. If you want to play the single players so badly, be my guest. You guys can, for the Switch and PlayStation crowd, but for the Xbox and Steam bros, you guys have the better versions. You have access to those. That's my take. So what is it with Star Wars games now? What's the future of the franchise? What's the future of my dead franchise? Everyone says that Star Wars is dead, Halo is dead. My franchise is dead. And I just say there needs to be something better down the line. Do better, because people are not going to take the slop. When slop comes out, people are not going to consume. Just consume product and then don't ask questions, and then get excited for next product. And that's how it feels sometimes. So yeah, is Star Wars dead? I don't think so. I think I'm not really on that doom and gloom train that Star Wars is dead, Halo is dead, my blank franchise is dead. I just think there just needs to be some better quality control now with this current gaming crash that's going on. A lot of people are saying, like, there's a gaming crash going on, and I can definitely see it. You know, workers getting laid off, games not coming out up to par, live service garbage, incomplete garbage, slop getting fed to people. And this port is just a little disappointing to really see, with the drought of Star Wars games coming out and canceled projects like that. First-person Mandalorian game by Respawn was canned by EA. No hopes of a Star Wars Battlefront 3. There's maybe Star Wars Outlaws being made by Ubisoft, but we have yet to see, given that Ubisoft has that track record of making their Ubisoft open world games filled with climbing up antenna towers and doing weird quests. So yeah, that's the kind of the future of Star Wars games. So yeah. That's my take. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about gaming in general, what you think of these ports. And yeah, I'll probably see you guys in the next one. Peace.